All right, good morning, everyone. We're going to get started. My name is Kelsey Ouellette, and I'm the editor-in-chief of the Drexel Law Review, Volume 14. On behalf of the Executive Board and our entire membership, I would like to warmly welcome you to this year's symposium entitled Reproducing Injustice, COVID-19, Reproduction, and the Law. The day is set up to be a very meaningful and informative conversation about an extremely important topic. I'm really excited to hear from all of the panelists we have lined up, which include legal scholars, academics, activists, and medical professionals who are all willing to share their expertise and experience with us today. Here to kick off the day and provide us with opening remarks is the Dean of the Thomas R. Kline School of Law, Dan Filler. Dean Filler has been a faculty member at the law school since its inception and has been our dean for nearly 5 years now. He's a great supporter of the Law Review, and we are very thankful to have him here today to start things off. And with that, I will turn it over to you, Dean Filler.
Thank you, Kelsey, and thank you, Emily Larrabee, for your work on putting this together as well. I'm so excited to welcome everybody to this year's symposium of the Drexel Law Review. And I think we are now in volume 14, if I remember right, which is a remarkable achievement if you consider that 15 years ago, this law school was not a law school at all. It was just beginning to open its doors. We did not yet have a building. And over that time, we have achieved so much. One example of that achievement has been the tremendous work of the Drexel Law Review, which has had symposium after symposium making an impact, taking on some of the most challenging issues of the day, bringing together experts both from inside the academy and outside of the academy to talk about questions that are going to have implications for years into the future. So I have so much pride in what the Drexel Law Review has done with these symposia, as well as with all of the books that it publishes each year. There's so much work involved in it, and it is very much the flagship of Drexel University's Thomas R. Kline School of Law. For those of you who don't know as much about the Kline School of Law, I want to tell you that we've done a tremendous amount in those 15 years, not just with the Law Review, but on all fronts. We've developed a real strong profile around the sorts of issues that you see showcased here, issues around law and social action. There's a passion among the faculty, staff, and students for seeing law as a piece of a broader social intervention. You know, when society has questions about what's happening on any front, reproductive justice, technology, the way society speaks out is through law. And so the law is able to help shape developments in the broader world, in the broader United States and far beyond. Recently, we established a new Center for Law and Transformational Technology with the view that as technology unfolds and develops and becomes bigger and more complicated, it has deep implications for society at large. And we know society will articulate its concerns through law. The rule of law allows us as a democracy to function and to navigate and to make sure that we as a community can be the one we want to be. So law is important, social change and social action is important. And as a law school, we've really tried to step into that space. What's going on today is a conversation about incredibly important issues in a very contentious domain, the domain of reproductive rights, reproductive freedoms, the domain of the body. You know, I can't help but notice the medical freedom movement playing such a central role in the moment of COVID, a medical freedom moment built on the idea that the state should not regulate bodies, that individuals should have the freedom to decline vaccines, that people should be allowed to establish family units free from government regulation about medical interventions and COVID. So we see that questions of how bodies and families will be allowed to navigate themselves are at the center of the conversation occurring in the United States right now in a time of COVID. What a perfect time to bring focus to these issues around reproductive justice. And the community we've brought together today is a community of real experts, people who've spent years thinking and pondering these questions from multiple perspectives in law and outside of law. I'm so appreciative of Liz Kukura and her efforts to put together this symposium, and particularly excited to welcome my colleague, the interim dean at Temple's Beasley School of Law, Rachel Rebuchet. As we really come together as a Philadelphia community and a national community to talk about issues that are so concerning for today and will ripple out in their implications for years to come. So I welcome all of you today. Thank you for joining us. And I look forward to hearing perspectives that will make a difference in how we navigate our society within our rule of law far beyond the COVID epidemic. I'll hand it back to you guys.